Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's me, Oz, and welcome to Ostranauts. This is a fun, quirky little game released by an interesting little studio who I will probably be showing you a bunch of, named Blue Bottle Studios. Right now, this game is, as you can see in the top right corner, in early access. This has quickly become, as of 2 builds ago, 0.12, I want to say, something like that, one of my by far favorite games to play and just mess around in my free time. It's been a few years since I posted here on YouTube, but I decided, why not come back? So, here we are, and let's go. This is our character, Adam Walsh. Let's give him something interesting to look at. We're going to be looking at him for a bit here. There we go. We like mutton chops. Nice and strong. It's a good strong face. Alrighty. The Tomiwa MedTech takes a glance at your chart, then at your body, then back at your chart. Immunosuppressed, low bone density, hypovolemic standard condition for a young spacer on the K-Leg station. Born and raised as you were in the weak microgravity of a 33-kilometer asteroid. Doc says the insomnia is catching up with you. It's chronic around here, something likely caused by radiation and lack of sunlight. Your eyes work well enough for now, but they're still bad, and they're getting worse. 18 years old and rapidly approaching middle age, your muscles are feeble by Mars standards. They wouldn't stand a chance on Earth. No shit, you say. You're no Earther, and you'll never be. The heart monitor beeps and then beeps again. The board tech scribbles a few notes and grants you work permissions. Healthy enough to strip holes in the boneyard despite everything. Fine with you, closer to the ships after all, and you're going to get one. Our dad is Daniel Wall, pirate from Fort Simpson, Ganymede. And our mother is Doris McGee, a law enforcement officer from Newcastle, Venus. We have $98.73 to our name and no experiences. So, let's begin. First, you can start out by seeking adventure, finding something to do. You know what? We found a local executive for the guys who own the station, Ayatomiwa, or however the heck you pronounce that. You know what? We're just going to call them the AOs. So, you know what? Let's seduce the AO executive and see what happens. Oh, hey, look at that. We can cook, dance, we're charismatic, and we're beautiful. So we can work on self to go to fix some of our traits. We will be popping in there later. Save some money, which honestly is not really worth it in my opinion. Review resume, which is fantastic, allows us to see everything about ourselves. Allows us to go through and see what we got going on. And then we can seek ship, which is how we get started with the actual game itself. So, let's go through adventure a few more times. Let's see. She's a real beauty, the Tetsudo Heavy Lifter 448, and it's with a confusing mix of honor and dismay that you're contracted to take her apart. On day 4 of break, you're welding through a wall compartment when something catches your eyes. You snap off the torch and take a closer look. Your breath catches at the sight. A Mura intake regulator, the apex of defunct company's technical achievements. Today, one of the rarest aftermarket parts in the game. It's popular on other markets too. Maybe the AOs don't need to know about this. Well, let's just make ourselves a little bit money. That gives us some street etiquette and a little bit of cash. So let's head back out. I know from experience that we are going to want some electrical experience. And let's head again. So, midway through scrapping yet another Hulk, the cockpit of your allotted salvage pod lights up with red telltales. Suddenly, you're under thrust as one of the engines sends you spiraling away from the Hulk's orbit into the black. It's unresponsive and nobody has the fuel to come save you. You're expendable. If you want to live, it's up to you. Well, from experience, I already know a few of what's best, so we're going to start out with Take This Stick. So there we go. Now we're skilled in spaceship piloting, EVA suits, and aberrant wound healing. Is both easier to wound and takes longer to heal. Oh, that's wonderful. We're made of glass. We're going to call him on a technicality for this, but we'll read through it real quick. Queen of Diamonds on the river. Matches up nicely with your ladies. Turns your two pair into a full house. Huang, the guy who got you into this game, is out. The ancient Nigerian shipping magnate folds. The suit, who you guess is an off-duty military contractor by her demeanor, also folds. It's just you and the high roller, and he's been trailing for a while now. Tell you what, he smiles, faintly underneath his mirror shades. Let's make this interesting. He tosses a command key for a starship onto the table. The other players go quiet to deadly still. His only out was the inside straight draw for the straight flush. Surely he'll bluff with something so valuable. So let's see. We know the year. No, we do not. It's a 2067, 4.8 meters by 7.8 meters, about 4.39 kilos. We're going to call him on a technicality. That'll get us the gambling skill. If we want, in the future, if we get that event again, we can take him for that ship. But for right now, we're going to keep on looking for more money and more experience. Hulks of blackened metal loom around you as you ride the labor barge out to the boneyard. The barge is so overloaded today, they've got some of you clinging to a cargo web full of locked crates. Crates with emergency supplies. They'll no doubt deduct from your pay if you dare have an accident. But the guard's back is turned, so let's hack the lock. These cases have a firmware update vulnerability that you were reading about. Using a data cable to your handset, you try a script you've been working on to hack the pin. A flash of green and a puff of air signal your success, eliciting silent fist pumps and wide smiles from the neighboring laborers. Cool, so that got us the leader trait. That'll come in handy. Let's see. So, there's a shady deal. You're approached by a court crew who has developed a less than legal method for making cash on the side. Apparently, they have been tagging high-value salvage as junk in the system for the last 6 weeks. After the false tag, they leave the part on board the derelict and sell the location to the highest bidder. The scheme always seems to involve the complicity of the breaker doing the final sweep, and today that happens to be you. The piece in question is a busted reactor, and you know it'll fetch a pretty penny on the black market. It's a big take if you can pull it off, but there are risks. So we can either gather some intel, join the scheme, backstab them, report them to the AOs, or start a fight. Now, from experience, I know that if I join in the scheme, the plan is a good one, but hell, if you're going to be the one left holding the bag, you keep a digital record of the false tags as insurance to guarantee you get your cut. Sure enough, the ringleader tries to squeeze you when it's time to pay up. You use the evidence to blackmail them for a larger share, and more importantly, you get out clean. That nets us a cool $4,500. Fantastic. That is something that you really, really need early on in this game. When you go out to scrap ships, you cannot do it legally unless you have a permit. To get the very base permit, which is a single one-day permit, you need about $5,000. So, I always like to try and get at least that much before I end up getting myself a ship and leaving. So let's see. Zui. A woman calls, you stop what you're doing, mouth dry. So do the dozen or so other day workers in the cramped dormitory. A silver class eco-compartment in ASC barracks. That's the signal from the next pod over. They're coming. Outside the door and up the access corridor, you hear the clatter of mag boots marching in double time. A half dozen of your neighbors flee through the back door. Moments later, you hear a sharp series of cracks and screams. Shocker rounds, you hope. You've got a moment to act. What do? Well, being as we are already skilled in hacking, we could just create a pressure alarm, which would get us more skill in that. No shame, no real need to either. So, let's do bluff. You can't run a grift without preparation. You can't pull one off without a little luck. Fortunately, today, you have both. There's a rumor going around that a bunch of AO-Sec inserts plainclothes police into communities like this one. If they exist, they've covered their trail so far. With nothing else to go on, you spent 3 long nights painstakingly copying, modeling, and printing a fake security badge. It won't pass close inspection, but if it goes according to plan, it won't have to. As the inspector reaches your position in the lab, you make sure she catches sight of your badge flat against your palm. You stare straight ahead. This is a confidence game. First one to blink loses. The inspector gives you a long look, but when she rifles through your belongings, she doesn't react to what you have hidden in there. Your work visa is invalid, she says impassively. I'll let you off with a warning this time. She moves on down the line. 2 weeks later, you see an AO deposit into the account you set up in the forged ID's name. Not bad. Now, we've already been here before. We have the AO executive, Scion, sneaking out into the bar again. Now, last time we seduced them and we got ourselves a boyfriend. This time, let's just get him wasted. See what happens. Skill in song, lyre, slovenly. Oof. Well, looks like we got ourselves a new contact. We might be able to use, Mr. Schultz for something later. Rare salvage. Oh shit, we're here again. So, this one, it's the Miria intake regulator from earlier. And honestly, this time, I think we're going to take it for ourselves. And if this works out, your plan is to move slowly and steady, to wait for the opportune moments, to stare lovingly at that Hydra only when you are alone with it. But by day 7 of the break, the allure of the piece is just too much to handle. The moment your site manager signals that they are going for a piss break while you set to work, convinced you can strip the part out and hide it somewhere safe before they get back. But while you manage to install the piece, your manager returns to find you stowing it in a lesser-known air duct of the 448, and there's nothing you can say to convince them that's where it belongs. Your manager calls the infraction into AOSEC, and the Corp has run your trial and developed sentencing before the end of the shift. 2 armed officers lead you off-site and start straight to booking. The AOSEC run the brig isn't hard time at Prokofiev, but it's not ideal either. Great. Time in the brig. Imprisoned, skilled in stealth, brave, slow healer, light sleeper, prisoner, scar, handcuffs, apathetic scar, industrial accident. Great. The brig is a sprawling subcompound on the far east wing of OK Leg. A warren of dormitories turned prison barracks nestled with alarming proximity to the station's main reactor. In fact, the jail facilities are intertwined with almost all the station's most dangerous industrial zones. The cacophonous scrap sorting lines, the near-freezing morgue, the foul-smelling waste processing facility, and the hothouse hydroponic grow-op it fertilizes. It's here where you do your time, compelled by the AOs to labor without wage among outcasts both meek and dangerous. You share a dorm with nearly 100 other souls, all of you stacked like a kindling on triple high bunks that leave you 10 inches between your nose and the brushed aluminum above. But even a hell like this is not without opportunity. You hear things, you meet people, you get in a few scrapes, you find a few friends. By the end of your term, you've lived a dozen lives and you have all the scars to prove it. Plus free room and board and a certain light, it might all be worth it. So we've got 2 new enemies, 1 criminal, 1 Leo, 1 friend Leo, and 1 friend criminal. So they're all on K-Leg. Nice, nice, nice. Daily grind. So let's do suit maintenance because I know that'll be very, very, very useful. Let's see. Well, now we start with an EVA suit, but let's keep going. We're gonna call him on a technicality again. I don't want that ship. Let's see. Labor barge locker. Let's just report it. Skilled in business. There we go. That is the one I've been looking for. Let's see, we got the shady deal again, so let's join the scheme, see if it works. And looks like we get thrown back in the brig. Out at 36, we have about $7,000 to our name. Let's just fake the pressure alarm. That gets us the skilled genius. Damn it. Well, that's it. We are 40. And we are about to take a box sled. Using a cheap mortgage derelict as a frame, you're able to scrape together enough spare parts to retrofit your own salvage pod. A comical replica of its factory line kin, it takes years of hard work and agonizing choices over what can be spared toward your project and what must be sold to survive. But finally it's finished as it's ever going to be. Due to the external hull features on this craft, HSO's register has given this vessel an OSR of low, indicating that it is legal for sale but poses some risk of death to the crew. So, we were going to fix some problems with Mr. Adam Walsh, but unfortunately we ran out of time by turning 40. I want to say 50 is the oldest you can get before the game kicks you out, as, 50 is pretty old. So, we are coming out of this with a lot of issues, fiscal and other, that we're going to have to deal with. But for now, we'll make do with this crappy old ship. Oh boy. Middle-aged, charismatic, genius, liar, loyal, beautiful, feeble, fragile, slow healer, micro-G hypervolemic, immunosuppressed, insomniac, slow metabolism, light sleeper, slovenly, unfit, visually impaired. Then we have 3 different sets of scars: allergic sensitivity, patellar tendinitis, and tendinitis. Oh boy. Well. So let's see first off, because I've never gotten this one. So looking through, here's all of our traits and everything else. So yep, allergic sensitivity. So it's just a generic, we're more allergic to allergens. Okay. Alright, let's take a look. So, here we are. There's our bag. That's our PDA. That allows us to go and interact and set some stuff up, along with making some fun phone calls and all that. Get us around. Let's see. We're going to flip the switch. We're going to steal the bed. Crank up the speed a little bit, so that way we get this done and over with. There we go. And let's see what else we got. Got a pressure suit. See if there's anything in the inventory. Yes, there is. We're going to take that light. Double check the bag. Nope, so now we got 2 bags. Fantastic. So now if we take our toolbox and put that in hand. Well, we'll leave the bag for now. The toolbox is more useful. The door to K-Leg Station slides open. You're greeted by the familiar aroma, a station vendor fare. Spot prawn, stir-fry, and suya curry. Kebab of chicken in a yaji spice rub. Szechuan beef with pink peppercorn. Your head knows that the meat is aquaponic or lab-grown or worse. But your heart tells you that anything prepared by human hands is better than Trencher's chow. Tired-looking spacers circulate between the bunks, the refuel kiosk, and the breaker yard, moving in and out of the gossamer haze of cigarette smoke that is a permanent fixture of the station. The smokes are Sungara Viceroys, the breaker brand of choice. Folks here would chain smoke them unfiltered no matter how many times the AO execs find them for overworking the CO2 scrubbers. Your new ship is waiting in port not far from the kiosk hub and scrap shops. Once you find it, you can finally undock from this rock. If you want to strip ships for salvage, all you need are the hand tools you own. But you'll need a welder to start remodeling and repairing hulls. Either way, if you're lucky, you can start making a living. Something beyond the corporate-sponsored rat race of breaking ships for a daily wage. A life you can call your own. Alright, like I said, I've played this game before for a few versions now, so I kind of have an idea of what I am doing. So let's toggle the power. We'll come over here and we can get us a free crowbar. That'll get us entrance to a bunch of different doors just by going and prying them open. Badoot. There we go. And when you pry something open, it doesn't break the law, so you don't get in trouble. But now we are fatigued. Fantastic. That is probably from unfit. And probably has to do with micro G hypervolemic as well. Let's see. So we're going to pick up the conduit. So we got some amoxicillin. We'll need that since we're immunosuppressed. Let's go sell off this set of uniform and all that first. So you can head over to the scrap kiosk. This is obviously one of our favorite locations. And we'll just pause everything real quick. Oh, is there... Ah, yes. Well, we don't want to sell that, so for now, let's sell the sneakers. And we'll keep the old pressure suit. That might come in handy, actually, now that I think about it. So let's accept that. That gets us an extra 80 bucks or so. let's see. Put that on the ground. Put this on the ground. Put that there. Put that there. Bada bing, bada boom. And now we can sell these sneakers and we can sell that coverall without selling our water, because you'd be surprised how important and necessary that is. Let's see, let's head over to supplies, see if we can't buy some stuff to help us out. Now, I would love to get the super handy equipment truck right here, because that is a godsend when it comes down to it for everything in this game. But for now, we're going to get ourselves a Halverson battery charger. Or two, why not? And let's head on over to our ship. Just in case, because I'm not 100% certain this thing is airlocked in. Oh yeah, no, that is not at all. So this right here is all open space. So the only sealed portion of our ship right now is going to be the cabin. And even that is very, very suspect. Alright. So if we can install this. There we go. Now, the reason why I picked up these battery chargers is they will give us the ability to actually build things. There's a spot here on OK Leg where you can go and you can get yourself a welder. However, for the welder, you do need to have charged batteries. So let's see. Because I need access. You know what? We'll stick the other Halverson on the outside. Oop. Don't want the inventory. Silly me. You know what? Yeah. We'll put it right there. So there's our nitrogen tank. There's our ship battery. Oh no, there's our ship battery. So we have about 6.5 hours worth of power. This is our thruster. Not bad. And if I hit that, that'll just save us some power and turn everything off for a second. We're going to need the welder to repair that. So let's see, you can take this for now. We're going to head back up here. Gonna pick that up. Now, normally, with PowerViz, you can tell that this door is not hooked up to the OK Lake power network. Now, admittedly, I don't feel like going and installing that, so instead, we're just gonna rip the door open and take what's inside. So what's this? We got ourselves a welder and a knife. Now, the knife I'm gonna sell. I don't like using melee weapons in this game. I never have. Or at the very least, not anything like a knife. Doesn't really do the job. Alright. So there we go. We're going to head over to the scrap kiosk and we can sell that knife for a few bucks real quick. Looks like we can't sell the knife, so instead let's do a little bit of exploring. So for OK Leg, we have about 4 locations. There are some more that are kind of nested, and you need to fulfill some specific things to be able to do them. So we're going to pop around, and we're going to learn a little bit about that. First, we head off to the Estates. Now, the Estates is only going to really be a pretty much one-stop location. You come here to do a quest, or you come here to go to your apartment. Right here, the private residence. So let's just head back to Port Azzy. Yeah, we'll just call it Azakili. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. We'll head up to commercial first, because I know there's a few things in commercial that we can take a look at. A few people we can talk to. We can learn more about our ship up here, too. Stepping off the tram at K-Leg's commercial district, the difference is immediately apparent. It's not nicer, but maybe less worn out. Like, less people come here, or at least less rough and tumble types. The main point of interest here is the Port Authority Office, a place where every captain inevitably becomes familiar with as they navigate the web of red tape surrounding spaceport operations. Usually you'll find at least a few pilot and ship owners slouched in line here, down on their luck and hoping for a break. The longer the line, the more likely that the nice clerk is on duty today. This district also offers spacers with funds to spare plenty of lavish means to part with their windfalls. The shipbroker offers mortgages on pre-owned vehicles as well as derelicts from the boneyard stock. The Van Buren self-care kiosk offers medical products and treatments for acute and chronic ailments. Embassies for distant colonies allow applications for permanent resident visas, coveted for tax discounts and improved legal treatment. Unfortunately, the decade since the loss of Earth to the ablative cascade of 59 has rendered colony interaction increasingly rare and informal, and legal status highly coveted, let alone full citizenship. Legal status often confers local benefits such as cargo trade discounts and rights to purchase private housing and docking. Now, that is going to be the end goal, is just to get a private place and see if we can't do that with good old Adam Walsh here. So let's see. Let's see what medical services they have and what we can actually take care of. Remove scar or chronic ailment. $250,000. Wow. Nanorobotic first aid. $2,500. Not bad. We don't need that right now, though. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Let's head up this way. Well, let's stop off here real quick. So this is the shipbroker. So we can see a whole bunch of different ships, and they cost literal millions. One airlock bridge, one cargo space exterior. There's a freighter. Not bad. And we can flat out buy a derelict. But this also gives us an opportunity to take a look at all the derelicts that are in the area. And try to get an idea of what one that we might want to look for. H5555. H555 has a reactor room. That could be worth checking out. Let's see. Reactor room, airlock bridge, engineering room, reactor room. Alright, well. And then technically we can sell our box sled for a measly $88,000. Oh goodness. And then And to get a replacement transponder is about $23,000. That's not too bad, I guess. Okay, so this door is locked. So we're going to go and we're just going to let ourselves in real quick. Do. Breaking the law. And there we go. Now that we are in, we can just start to take a peek at what's behind the door. Let's see. Looks like we're going to have to pop this one too. 7852. Oh, hey, guess what? It leads nowhere. I want to say that one doesn't lead to much of anything either, from what I can remember. Either way, we can hover over and we can see that there's nothing on the inside. Double check the room because we definitely don't want to get in trouble. So if we access the lock, hit pause, we can hack, pop the door, and there we go. Now, this will get us some early storage and some ways to make some early money. It's always kind of random what you find in these security crates and in all the back rooms, but I always like to take a poke around and see what you can find. I mean, I've found liners for reactors. I've found some pretty just tasty stuff inside the smart crates packed away in the back rooms that NPCs never really access, so they're just kind of sitting there waiting for the player character to come along and borrow them. There we go. Now let's stand here. We'll open up our inventory. We can put you on the ground real quick. 1 and 2. We'll put our bag and our toolbox in there, and let's take a look. Ooh, we have a splint. We have an EVA helmet that's in red instead of our normal orange. Got a power switch, a drink pouch, a ship, spacebook, engineering textbook. That will come in use. Harness pants, gunmetal, not bad. So I think we found a little bit of a surface outfit and some interesting bits and bobs that'll definitely come in use. Let's see, from what I can remember, up here is all nothing, nothing, nothing. These are the back rooms that control the CO2 scrubbers, heaters, coolers, and pretty much make sure that OK leg isn't going to fall apart anytime soon. These racks are usually empty or there's next to nothing in them. Let's see. Let's go talk to the Port Authority. See what's going on. See what we can do, actually. Expand open our little interaction tree right here. And we are just going to wait for him to reply. Come on, Travis. How can I help you? Thank goodness. Okay. Oh, we're just going to pause for a second. So, ask for a break, promise to pay later, threaten to call manager. This all has to do with, what's it called? Our docking fees, pretty much. When you're on OK, like by the hour, I want to say it is, or by the shift, which is down here. It's split into 4 shifts, 6 hours each, 6, 12, 18, 24 hours, plus 20 minutes and 58 or 59 seconds of free time at the end, which we'll have a little discussion about that then. Let's see. They don't know us, and there's nothing I really want from him. So we'll just leave. No need to talk to Travis. We'll just check the gig nexus while we're here, just see if there's anything going on. Now, admittedly, there are no good ways to make money by shipbreaking in this game. Not unless you really know what you're doing and have the skilled in business trait. So, a lot of the money that you end up making will be from gigs like this. You go, you can scroll through, you can find different people offering various amounts of money for delivery, blackmail, beating. It all kind of depends. Like this one. You have to travel the kinetic disco, that is 3.7 thousand kilometers away from OK Leg inside of 45 minutes. Beat the crap of, just absolute crap out of Marissa Campbell without, punching their lights out. Tell them this guy says, hey, up yours. And then come back and turn it in all inside of 45 minutes for the absolute maximum reward of $31,811.42. However, that is only the gold tier. If you do it in faster, I don't know exactly how much faster, you end up getting the platinum tier. Platinum tier usually kicks out an extra, I don't know, like 10 to 20%. It's not a lot, but it does add up. So right now we have a gig to go from Emporium to Commercial. So that is our next destination. Let's just pop on down there, see what we can do. Now, the Old Emporium, or Mescaform, this is pretty much kind of the bar. This is where all your dirty, rotten scoundrels like to hang out. The red neon casts heavy shadows in the Old Emporium, K-Leg's only leisure district. The OE is a relic of a former world, a portal to the halcyon days of the wildest Nigerian colony before Earth's ablation cascade gutted the economy. Spacers come here to escape the bureaucratic grind, to imagine a world without bosses, to split a chilled bottle of Bismuth Britannia, even when they can't afford to. A dozen meters away from the shuttle stop, you see a knot of revelers gathered in the warm light of the Mescaform bar. Laughter and conversation float through Mescaform in the melange of English, Mandarin, and even Yoruba. That last one might be a sign AO managers are mixing up with the common folk. Whatever the language, the warm organics of human voices in close proximity is a welcome departure from the hollow echo of comm chatter. One of the faces in the crowd is the Fixer. They're a known quantity in the station community, K-Leg's portal to a system-wide, ever-shifting black market whose appetite for used ship parts and other rare salvage can never be sated. Shouldn't be too hard to get the Fixer talking. Just mention you have something to trade and they're likely to be interested. So we're going to go talk to our little Fixer friend first, so that way we can sell off some stuff, clear up some inventory space. Ah, here we go, Gabriel. And we already know Gabriel. Well, Ming says we're just about going to do some gigs for some quick money. And I fully plan on being a bit of a space pirate this round. Let's buy ourselves a gun and some ammo real quick. See what we can't sell out of our bag. Dang, buddy, you just do not want nothing from me, do you? Well, let's see. Well, for now, we're going to hold off on hiring anyone as crew, though I am quite tempted to this time around, especially with how old our guy is. We just don't have the space on the ship to do that right now. So let's just go we got our courier gig. So first off, we're going to slow our speed down to 0.25. So now we access the locker, we hit pause, and we realize our pockets are full. Full. So let's see if we can't just shuffle some stuff around real quick and make it work by stuffing our cargo pants full of knives and empty drink flasks. Nope, can't fit that in there. Hey, you'll fit on the clip point. Let's see if we equip our gun real quick. Oh, wow, these pants really do have a lot of space. Damn. That's nice. But we're going to stay strapped because, well, this is space. Can I wear? No, I cannot. All right. So this is a salvage permit. Permits come in, I want to say it's 24, 72, and something that's longer than 72. I don't remember exactly how long. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Now, I'm fairly certain this one is probably expired, but we have to take this up to commercial. So let's cancel access, let's access transit, and be on our way. Admittedly, I know this is going to be a little bit slow for everyone watching good old Mr. Walsh walk his very slow way through all of this, but for the platinum tier payout, especially if you are truly broke on the OK Leg station, it is always absolutely worth it to just slow it down a while. Take your time. Because the higher speeds, especially at 16 times speed, you will, well, first off, you'll run into some bugs. This game, as stated, you know, it's in early access. It's not the most stable thing in the world, but it also blasts through your time, and you can lose a gig in seconds without even realizing it. So we take our ticket, we pass it off into here, we hit cancel, pause, and let's use this. And don't hit anything else. Head over to my gigs. Platinum tier payout. There we go. And now we have enough money to afford exactly one salvage permit. So now that I have a handgun as a means of defending myself, at least in a basic manner, let's head over to the port. And let's see what other basic survival tools that we can pick up. Now, admittedly, we don't need a lot more to survive out in space. So let's head over to the supplies kiosk, and we'll just pick up a few extra things from there. Now, admittedly, I do not pay attention to the goals, as those are just NPCs contacting you, trying to give you something to do, places to go, you know, that kind of stuff. It's all very fun and good, but I very much just like doing my own thing. So let's go. I want to say we had 3 extra inventory spaces, and oh yeah, there's that Bismirnata, or however the heck you pronounce it. I'm just gonna call it, you know, not Smirnoff, or Stoli, or Kamchala, or, you know, any basic bottom of the box ever. Alright, yeah, I guess we'll call it there. Alright, so now we can check our inventory. We have 3 batteries. That'll allow us to do a lot of building. So before we head outside, we have to make sure that we put our helmet on, because unfortunately the outside of our ship is not sealed in. As a little bit of a... I'm paranoid and I like to take care of the things that I own. We are just going to go and repair the entire ship real quick. And to help us be able to see that. Let's see, we got some space so we can put down our smart crate. Actually, no, I don't think that's the one that we want. We can put the light down on the outside. And then... where did I put that stir welder again? Ah, there we are. So let's clip the welder in hand, and let's take advantage of the fact that we don't technically have to leave the station yet. So we're going to tag auto task. Ooh. Might help if I set up what our guy can do first. So let's just bump everything up in priority just by 1 level to 2, so that way it's, you know, moderately urgent. Oh, yeah, that's right. I need supplies first, so take off our helmet, come over here. Now, this is one of those fun little locations that I told you about where just some smart crates and various other things are sitting quietly in a corner waiting for someone to come and just borrow them permanently. Oh, that's the real estate broker. Let's go see how much an apartment is while we wait for those guys to leave us alone. So we need to make $3,684,000, give or take, to get us a permit for a basic residence. And we can sell our ship for a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of that. We'd only need another 37 payments of about $90,000 to get the ship as ours. Something like that. Anyways, so if we access the lock, we hit pause so that way no one can technically see us hacking this. Which is kind of a silly exploit, but I will take that every single time over having to go and to fight the OK Leg authorities and deal with getting crammed in the brig. So now we can unlock that. Pop on in. Let's access this lock. Let's pop this lock. Pop it, lock it, bop it, sock it. And access is ours. Do I have... yes, I do. Get our crowbar in hand for a minute. So we're going to come in here, and we are going to open up all of this crap. And we are going to dump every single bit of scrap and salvage on the floor. Because right now we don't have parts to fix our ship. But very conveniently, right here are some parts that we can use to fix our ship. So since they aren't being used and they won't be missed, well, they might as well belong to us now. Let's see. Just pop into all of these, dump the contents on the floor, try to match them up. I'm not going to lie, a lot of these sprites all look very much the same, and it does tend to get a little bit confusing. And that's just trash. Exploration is always a very good thing in this game, and admittedly, it's not just space. Space would be, ooh. An angle grinder. How nice. So let's rotate this, clip that to there. We need some food on us. Now let's see. We were in the corner rack, so let's head to the one right next to it. All these should stack together. Those should stack together. Stack that. Trash, I always just leave in containers or leave behind as much as possible because there's nothing you can do with trash. It is just factually trash. And there we go. There's that done. And let's pop this door open too. Admittedly, we might come back later and steal one of the CO2 scrubbers from here, but we'll see how Captain Walsh is feeling. You know, might want to step in his father's footsteps after all. Let's see. Put this back in here. You can go on the clip point. You know what? We'll put the splint in the bag. Bring those out to the front. You go there. Put the bag back in the crate. And let's install our first conduit. Item required first. Buddy, you have the item. It is in your hand. You have the item. Come on now. Alright, so let's try that again. So you have this, we hit items required first. Okay. Well, if you won't play nice, then let's just come up here. Let's just strip out some extra conduit and we'll make a bypass. There we go. Extra conduit. Stays in the hand. And let's start to do some... Oh. Someone else came by and installed it, I guess. Fair enough. Alright, well, let's access the lock. And just in case whoever it is comes back, we'll pop in real quick. Let's access this one as well. Because admittedly, going through the doors, not illegal. Hacking open the doors, very illegal. So let's see what kind of junk they got for us. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Oh, well, toothbrush. Well, isn't that useful? Let's see if I dump out the trash. Is there any way that I can condense all this down so that way I can take as much as possible? Let's see, put the cloth there. And we'll come back for the container itself at some point, but for now, that does a pretty good job of freeing up some extra space for us and getting us some extra bonus loot. Oh. Oops. Might kind of need a helmet in space there, bud. Alright, now let's see. How much extra space do I really have on this ship? I have no extra space. We'll head back inside K-Leg and take our helmet off. And that should help abate our feeling of choking to death. We'll borrow this crate again because, well, might as well. Let's see, just keep picking some stuff up real quick. Scrap carbon fiber. That should go there. That one and that one. Give you another small mechanical part, and we'll take the full stack, whatever that is. There we go. Now, that is a decent amount of loot here from good old OK Lake. So this battery charger is where we can charge our EVA suit for free. And right here is where we can buy our licensing. 24, 72, 7 days, 30 days, and 300 days. Ranging from 5,000, 13,500, 30,000, 120,000, and a full $1 million to get licensed to scrap ships. Now, we are going to go and we're going to save up on that 24-hour license. We don't want to buy it just yet because we have a little bit of work to do on our ship. And we might as well get that done before we head out, because if we don't, well, we just won't have the time otherwise. So for now, because this actually does take quite a long time, I'm going to go, especially with the length of the video, cut things about here. And when I come back, and when you come back to this, our friend Adam Walsh will have repaired our ship fully up, so none of this will be red on screen. This will all be a very nice, regular, pale gray, I want to say. And we'll see you then. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy.